The emu is listed as a species of least concern by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. Their populations are generally stable. In the early 20th century, emus were hunted for their feathers, meat, and oil, which led to a significant decline in their numbers. However, they are now protected by law in Australia. Emus have cultural significance to Indigenous Australian peoples and are featured in various Dreamtime stories and art. They are also a national symbol of Australia and are featured on the Australian coat of arms. In the 1930s, a notable event known as the Emu War took place in Australia. The Australian government used soldiers armed with machine guns to try to control an emu population deemed a pest to farmers. The emus proved to be highly elusive and difficult to control, resulting in the operation's failure. Emus typically have a coat of shaggy feathers that are primarily brown or grayish-brown. Their plumage is often a mottled or speckled pattern, which provides them with effective camouflage in their natural habitats. This coloration helps emus blend into various environments, including forests, woodlands, savannas, and deserts, where they are commonly found in Australia. The feathers on their head and neck may sometimes have a bluish-black hue. Additionally, the skin on their head and neck can change in color, particularly during mating and emotional displays, when it may turn shades of blue, red, or purple. Emus have long, powerful legs with 3 forward-facing toes on each foot. These legs are built for speed and endurance. Emus are strong runners and can reach speeds of up to 48 km/h. They have small, vestigial wings that are mostly useless for flight. They are equipped with rudimentary clawed fingers on their wings, which are a remnant of their evolutionary history as flying birds. Emus have a long, slender neck, which they use for feeding on vegetation and for grooming. Their head is relatively small in comparison to their body and is adorned with a distinctive, bluish-black patch of skin, which can change color during emotional displays. Emus have a long, slender neck, which they use for feeding on vegetation and for grooming. Their head is relatively small in comparison to their body and is adorned with a distinctive, bluish-black patch of skin, which can change color during emotional displays. Emus typically stand around 1.8 to 2 meters tall. Some individuals can be slightly shorter or taller, but this is the general range for their height. The weight can also vary, but they generally weigh between 23 to 68 kilograms. The weight of an emu can depend on factors such as age, sex, diet, and overall health. Males tend to be slightly larger than females. Emus are typically solitary birds, but they can sometimes be found in small groups, especially during non-breeding periods. These groups often consist of family members or birds congregating around abundant food sources. Emus are known for their curious and inquisitive nature. They may investigate objects and even approach humans if they encounter them, which has made them popular in wildlife parks and zoos. These are not migratory birds, but they may travel in search of food and water when necessary, covering long distances. They engage in dust bathing, which helps them keep their feathers clean and free from parasites. They will roll in loose soil or sand to achieve this. The most distinctive sound associated with emus is their booming call, which is produced by inflating a throat pouch. This booming sound is typically made by male emus during the breeding season to attract females and establish territory. It sounds like a deep, resonating drumbeat and can carry over long distances. Emus may emit grunting sounds, especially during courtship and breeding. These grunts can be used as a form of communication between mates. Emus can produce drumming sounds during courtship. This sound is also associated with breeding behavior and may be used to attract a mate. Emus may make whistling or hissing sounds, often as an expression of agitation or warning to potential threats or intruders. They can make various low-frequency vocalizations, although they are less commonly heard. These sounds can be part of their communication with other emus. Occasionally, emus may emit roaring or roaring-like sounds, especially when excited or alarmed. The bulk of an emu's diet consists of plant material, including leaves, grasses, shrubs, flowers, fruits and succulent plants. They consume a wide range of seeds from various plants. They are known to eat both the seeds that are found on the ground and those still attached to plants. Emus are opportunistic feeders, and they will readily consume insects when they are available. Insects can include grasshoppers, crickets, beetles, and other invertebrates. On occasion, emus may eat small vertebrates, such as reptiles and amphibians, although this is a relatively small part of their diet. Emus also swallow small stones, pebbles, and gravel, which help them grind down and digest their food in their gizzard, a specialized part of their stomach. While emus can go without water for extended periods, they do drink when water is available. Their ability to survive on limited water makes them well adapted to arid and semi-arid environments. The breeding season for emus in their native Australia typically begins in the austral spring, which is from June to September. The exact timing of the breeding season can vary somewhat based on environmental conditions and geographic location. During the breeding season, male emus become territorial and establish specific areas where they will attract females. They use several behaviors to court and attract mates. The male produces a deep, resonating booming sound by inflating a throat pouch. This booming is the primary means of attracting females and advertising territory to rival males. The male may engage in a dance-like courtship display, which can include head bobbing, spreading his feathers, and parading in front of the female. Males may display their feathers, including the bluish-black skin on their head and neck, as part of the courtship process. After courtship, the female selects a male based on his displays and chooses to mate with him. The female then initiates the nesting process by laying a clutch of large, dark green eggs. Emu eggs are the size of a small melon and can number from 5 to 15 eggs, with the average being around 8 to 10. After laying her eggs, the female leaves the nest, and the male takes on the responsibility of incubating the eggs. This is a remarkable aspect of emu behavior, as the male becomes the primary caretaker of the eggs. He sits on the eggs for about 8 weeks, rarely leaving the nest and surviving solely on body fat reserves during this period. Once the eggs hatch, the male continues to care for the young emus, known as chicks. He protects them, provides warmth, and leads them in search of food. Emu chicks have distinct stripes on their feathers, which serve as camouflage in their early stages. The chicks grow quickly, and the male continues to care for them for several months. During this time, he teaches them essential skills for foraging and survival. Eventually, the young emus become more independent and are ready to leave the care of the male. They disperse and start to fend for themselves. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for even more viewing pleasure. Don't forget, like and comment. Feel free to share.